Bitter cold, ice, and wind. That is not the forecast, but this time it's Bianna and I's idea of a good time as we scale the tallest peak in the Northeast.
That's right. Ginger and I geared up for a trek up New Hampshire's Mount Washington with an elevation of almost 6,300 feet. Sometimes, you know, a girl's just got to live on the edge.
After our 13,000-foot plunge to Earth
and hurtling 150 miles per hour around a NASCAR track.
Great job.
When my husband invited Ginger and me along to climb Mount Washington in the dead of winter, we figured, what's a little hike up 6,288 feet of the world's worst weather?
A combination of winds, fog, low visibility, snow. It can dish out an amazingly intense storm, and it can change dramatically. Some 140 people have died on that mountain from falls, from exposure, hypothermia.
Okay, so I'm excited.
I'm just glad we have a crack team of guides to get us mountain ready.
This is almost guaranteed not to happen, but sliding on your back down the hill head first. You want to get this axe above you like this.
As if when I'm going to be sliding, I'm going to remember my tutorial. I'm going to be screaming at Peter, "You brought me here!"
So having learned a few safety tricks, we got some R&R at the Mount Washington Hotel, and then got a bright and early start determined to best the mountain.
Let's not forget, the summit is a place of power and treachery. Year-round, the Mount Washington Observatory is staffed with volunteers who face winds over 100 miles per hour. Temperatures well below zero, which isn't to say they don't love what they do, turning Armageddon-like cold into some fun experiments, like freezing bubbles and making snow out of hot water. Thankfully, luck and the warm sun was shining upon us as we set out along the path.
Woo!
And all of its beautiful scenery.
After you.
Thank you. This is the easy part's over.
From here on out, it was time to break out the crampons.
And the ice axes as we got into some serious climbing.
So worth it as we earn our first peek of the gorgeous view on this clear day.
This is not a green screen behind us. It's all real.
And after 4 hours of scrambling and huffing and puffing, my heart was pounding so hard the microphone picked it up.
Not to mention braving those frigid temperatures.
Freezing.
We finally get some good news from our guide, Steve.
All right, we're coming up to the final push here.
Great.
Here we are.
Before you get any ideas about the so-called home stretch, take a look at it from this angle.
This.
One last look at the ground we've covered, hiking over 5 miles and ascending more than 4,000 feet.
It was time to finish this thing.
6,288 feet. Done. Woo!
And while Bianna headed in to warm up and thaw out, I just couldn't wait to see the observatory myself.
I'm in weather nerd heaven. It looks like it too with the clouds. See that? What I love about the observatory. Exactly, the sling psychrometer. So we still make our measurements today the exact same way the observatory has for the past 80 years.
But as you can see, we're at about 9 degrees out here right now.
How was the hike? Was it worth it?
Completely worth it, and this makes it all better. A sling psychrometer on top of that mountain, really my dream. And I've got to say, we weren't the only ones hiking, of course. Our producer, Kenny, who's behind my camera right now, he was with us. Thanks to everybody that hosted us at Mount Washington. Bianna, you rocked on that climb.
It was fantastic. So did you, Ginger. I cried a little, but we didn't include that in the piece, nor did we include Ginger's doing the yoga poses, but it was a little bit more difficult for me. And for those wondering at home, we did not climb down. We took a snowcat down, so it was only a climb up.
I think well-deserved to take the snowcat down.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
All worth it for the sling psychrometer. I can't even pronounce that. Ginger, thank you very much.